Now, Rich, we're sort of combining two things right now because, well, there's this viral montage of all these broadcasters and talking heads talking about how Patrick Mahomes.
Hey, it's not gonna work out for him in the NFL.
Right. And we saw no real accountability there, but Patrick Mahomes proved everybody wrong. You know, revenge is the best success. He just did his thing, and he's the man. So many people were wrong about it. But then again, his unconventional style probably made it difficult to really predict that, right? And then there's the viral story today of J.J. Redick sort of going wild on Doc Rivers not taking accountability on jumping in and not being able to do what he promised. Here, actually, take a listen.
I've seen the trend for years.
What's the trend?
The trend is always making excuses. Doc, we get it. Taking over a team in the middle of the season is hard. It's hard. We get it. Just like getting traded in the middle of the season is hard for a player. We get it. Mm-hmm. But it's always an excuse. It's always throwing your team under the bus. They lose to Memphis. Oh, it's his players' fault. Memphis was playing G League guys and two-way guys. And then you look at his quotes over the weekend. Now he wants to take credit for the James Harden trade to the Clippers working out. He wants credit for that. There's never accountability with that guy. Well, there's never accountability.
Whoa. So this is your chance, Fox Sports Radio Nation, and ours, to take accountability on the times you were the times you were wrong.
I think you need to take J.J. Redick to Disneyland with you. Jeez, guy needs to cheer up.
Maybe I'll take Doc Rivers, too. Hey, I'd love to go to Disneyland. Hey, by the way, Doc Rivers here. Anybody have any chloroseptic or Sucrets or anything? Got a sore throat. But I take full accountability. Full accountability. So, now's your chance to admit you were wrong. I already said I was wrong about Twitter. I was wrong about a lot of things. It's not always when someone proved you wrong. You thought they were going to stink and they were awesome. It could be you thought they were going to be awesome and then they stunk it up.
Yeah,
I mean, being so excited when the Yankees got Aroldis Chapman. I'm like, oh, man, flamethrower. It's going to be like having Mariano Rivera again.
Nope.
Dude.
Nope.
I'm like, this guy sucks. Yeah, sometimes you're just wrong on that. So your chance to admit you were wrong. We don't want to give away all the good answers. We leave some for you. Let's get involved.
I mean, talk about you were wrong and it worked out somehow, some way.
Accountability.
Look at the 49ers' whole quarterback situation. You banked on Jimmy G. It wasn't the guy. You got Trey Lance. And then at Mr. Irrelevant, you're like, yeah, pick up Purdy too. Now, hindsight, you hear people within the 49ers organization saying, oh, we knew. Yeah, but you gave up a lot for Trey Lance. And you escaped embarrassment because Brock Purdy worked out. Because Brock Purdy worked out, no one talks about the swing and miss on Trey Lance.
Well, the phone calls are coming in at 877-99 on Fox. We're going to get to all of them, but I can't let you off the hook because this is a funny one that no one's going to say. I remember in the early 2000s when Rich was up to really terrible things.
What was that? Come on.
He was no good. He was doing things that
I was doing.
I can't even tell you about.
I was doing hood rat stuff.
Yeah.
What was I doing?
I remember him coming in
to
the studio. You know what I'm going to say?
I know what you're going to say.
Yo, and he was wearing a brand name called Rule. But it was spelled R-E-U-H-L or something.
It was spelled sort of like the coach, Matt Rule.
There was a random H in there. And then, I noticed, and I'm like, but then the next day he was wearing another shirt that said Rule.
Yo,
and then, dude, like the next
I'll
day.
explain.
Rule. I'm like, bro, what's with the Rule? He's like, I got to tell you, I got from Good Thorth that this is the next big thing.
Listen.
And I was like, I'll tell you what. You Rule, dude. And you know what? Never heard of that brand ever again.
Is that Rule like the air conditioning company?
No.
Might as well be.
It was a, well,
I'll tell you what it was, you remember back in the day when the hot stuff for people on there?
The Rula?
No. In the late 90s, 2000s, Abercrombie and Hollister were a big thing for like younger kids, right? Rule was Abercrombie's brand that was supposed to be for like the more mature guy. Like if you rocked Abercrombie, Rule was supposed to be like if you're like 28 to 30, like it's not Abercrombie, it's Rule.
Oh, it's the sophisticated, mature version.
I remember being like, yo, this is the next big thing.
And dude, he had a full-on wardrobe of Rule tee. If you look back to our pictures, Every picture we have, Rich is wearing a Rule shirt.
We
And I
get
gotta
it.
tell you, he was way wrong about it.
I did not rule. Scott in Cincinnati, what were you so wrong about? It could be the sports world, TV, entertainment, you name it.
Stock, it could be anything.
Yeah, what's up, Scott?
No, it was the sports world, guys, and I'm a big Cincinnati Bengals fan. And a few years ago, we had the number 1 overall pick. Obviously, we ended up with Joe Burrow, and he's changed the entire culture of the Cincinnati Bengals franchise. Hopefully forever, and
Yeah.
hopefully we'll be the only ones that are able to hang with Mahomes coming into next year if Burrow is healthy. But at the time, because of the experience we had with David Klingler and Akili Smith, drafted number 1 overall years before that, I had kind of been stung with the number 1 overall quarterback thing. And my idea, and I was screaming at anybody who would listen, was to trade that pick instead of taking Burrow. There was a 2 and a 9 being offered by some franchise who wanted to come up to get Burrow. I think it might have even been the Dolphins. My idea was make that trade at the 2, take Chase Young, who's going to be the most dominant defensive player to come out of the draft in decades, and then get Justin Herbert at the 9, which wouldn't have been awful. I think Justin still he does with Harbaugh, but Chase really hasn't developed the way we thought he was going to, and Burrow is the savior.
Scott, I tell you, there's so many times you see fun videos, and that's listen, we always talk about how social media is equal parts sucky and awesome. I love when old videos emerge of fans that are mad about someone that ended up being awesome. And then
Yeah, but those are the times you don't mind being wrong, right? It's
No.
like, man, they proved me wrong. That's awesome.
I mean, listen, when the Niners had Kaepernick, was it Trent Dilfer? There was a broadcaster that said, future Hall of Famer, lock, Super Bowls. I remember was it Dilfer? I think it was Trent Dilfer that went on a limb. Anyway, let's go to Mitch in Jersey. What's up, man? Covino and Rich.
What's up, fellas? Thanks for taking a call.
No problem.
I got 2. Ricky Bell, but it really wasn't his fault. He died young. I think he was tickled after Tony just said. I think he would have been a great running back across USC. But my main guy, I think you could say, is Jamarcus Russell. He set the Raiders down back quite a few.
Man,
decades.
Jamarcus Russell, the story that will always stick with everyone. You know how certain things define a player. The whole story about how he didn't watch any tape, and they gave him gave him blank footage, and he's like, "Oh, I watched it." That forever is like a guy with all the talent in the world just didn't want to put the work in.
You think we're going to look back and I remember we were on ESPN at the time, Rich. Do you think we're going to look back and say Zion, like everybody was just so wrong about this guy?
Well,
or does he still have a lot of time?
He has
to
time.
Prove everybody
He's
wrong?
still so young.
Yeah, but remember, dude, you remember like how we spoke of him busting through his sneakers? Like, dude, he's the next coming. He's the next LeBron.
I think that might be overstated. I mean, he's a great player when healthy, but
I mean, not rooting against him.
let's
I
not-
want him to prove everybody.
let's not
wrong.
forget.
Or right, I
You
should
could
say.
say prisoner of the moment, but back then, Zion was talked about like LeBron and Michael Jordan. Like, this
Yeah,
is
he's
a
the next guy.
You can't lose this guy. If you get him, he will do for you what LeBron or Michael Jordan or Kobe would do for an organization. It just has not worked out. Mo, you're on in Arizona. Covino and Rich. What's up, Mo?
Morning, guys.
What's up, man?
Yeah,
What were you so wrong about?
Okay, got 2 things for him. One thing I was wrong about, I'm a lifelong Lakers fan, so pretty much anybody in the first round that the Lakers have picked besides Kobe have either been a bust or by the time they start getting good, they trade them off to another team and you watch them flourish for someone else. It's like so disappointing. But
Except
I
ball.
just wanted to get off. I wasn't to get off my back. Yesterday, I didn't get a chance to get in. Michael Jordan, nice shoes, but Michael Jackson made penny loafers famous.
I mean, that's a good point.
That's true.
Referencing yesterday's Michael conversation.
Yesterday, we talked about the most impactful Michael of our generation. Was it Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, or Michael Jackson? Got a lot of feedback on that. I appreciate it. At Covino and Rich.